And if it can work here, in this remote place, it can work anywhere. This is Zaria in northern Nigeria, a Muslim town in a region that has been beset by conflict between religions.
Zaria is where I come from, mostly dominated by Muslim Hausa people. And we have an emir, we have local leaders, we are just a traditional setting.
It is a city where one man's career in education has always been about resolving conflict.
I'm a simple man. I am Ibrahim. I'm a child of Malam Zubairu, who is an imam. He engaged in community help. Most importantly, local openness, because he developed that interest. My father cherished education very well. In fact, I got this interest from the interest of my father. I'm a lecturer with the Department of Educational Psychology and Early Childhood Education. Federal College of Education is a teacher training institution.
In the case of Ibrahim, the World Bank was involved with the federal government, with the state government in terms of ECD, and they identified the importance of training colleges being involved. And individuals then were asked if they were interested in being a part of this program.
Ibrahim's provost immediately thought of him.
You can see the burning desire in him to learn. He always wants to learn. Very hardworking, committed.
It's exactly the purpose of the ECDVU, to identify talent and spread it to affect as many people as possible.
ECDVU is one of the best things to happen to my life. The course is seminar-based and internet-based, because it's just like, as the name implies, ECDVU is virtual university.
Each student taking the ECDVU course can select or even design their own program, tailored culturally to the needs of their own country. And the program Ibrahim developed is very bold. Like many developing nations, school curriculum in Nigeria has not traditionally started until primary school, when children are 6 years old. So what the child learns in that 6 years is critical.
Within that age range, that is the time that you build whatever you want to build in a human being.
In fact, they are among the most important years in a child's development and a country's.
This early childhood education is very, very important, for the survival of this country. This is where we get the kind of leaders, we want.
Yet many ECD-age children in Nigeria are already on the streets instead of in schools. But in Zaria, other ECD-age children are in fact in school, madrasa schools, which give an Islamic education to pre-K age children. It is on these madrasa schools that Ibrahim focused his program learned at ECDVU. In madrasas like this one in the old city of Zaria, Ibrahim is working with the local imam to make sure these children add to their religious education some of the elements of the ECD that will give them a leg up when they arrive at primary school.
A lot of people prefer to send their children to Quranic school. That is good. However, they fail to understand that it is equally important to send a child to develop their critical thinking.
Ibrahim discussed the type of program he wished to develop with the ECDVU director.
With the madrasa programs, they're very much coming from a play-based orientation. It's the children actively engaging with the materials, with each other, with their teachers, and it has a flow to it, it has a spontaneity to it.
And it is the ECDVU's emphasis on developing local leaders that has made the difference.
I look at my community. I look at it as difficult and very easy. Difficult in the sense that a lot of people will have a different opinion, an idea, thinking that maybe I have come to do something different. And easy because I'm coming from this environment. As a Muslim, who is one of them, I feel it becomes easier.
Ibrahim has plans, and they don't stop with his current program.
I am having a dream, positive dream, God's willing. Seeing that early childhood has spread and been accepted all over the country. That will be my greatest joy.
Zubairu's new idea got inspiration from ECDVU classmates from Tanzania and Uganda, who had been implementing the ECD curriculum in madrasa schools for many years. This is South-South learning done in real time. Classmates connect online, exchange ideas, and crystallize new ones. In many ways, Nigeria is at the starting line, and one of the things the Early Child Development Virtual University encourages is sharing knowledge across borders. That's why a delegation of ECD policymakers from Nigeria has come here, to Accra, Ghana. It turns out that Ghana is on the cutting edge of ECD policy and program development in Africa. One of the reasons for that is Ruth Addison.
I'm Ruth Addison. I work with the Department of Children under the Ministry of Women and Children's Affairs as the National Coordinator for Early Childhood Care and Development. As much as I can do to help the children of Ghana, that's what I do in my little office.
And it's no coincidence. Ruth is a graduate of the ECD Virtual University program. She's a good example of the kind of person who would not have gotten this sort of education without the virtual university. First, she was already in an important position of leadership in Ghana, which means Ghana couldn't spare her for a year overseas.
In identifying leaders, they do not have the time to be away from their work. And ECDVU provided that avenue. So you can still be at work, you can carry out your daily duties.
Another reason, she is a wife and mother of two.
The ECDVU program worked very well for me because I have two children growing up. This was not a time for me to leave them for 2-3 years away from the home environment. It was also web-based and you only were away for such a short period of time. It did not create that temptation for people to want to leave and not come back, because you're pretty much being groomed to make use of what you have learned to improve what is happening in your country environment. I was selected. I said, great, now I'll do it. But little did I know that there was more to it. I quickly had to get myself organized, so it meant staying up late, it meant waking up very early.
What Ruth soon realized was that the ECDVU was a catalyst for what she was already doing at work.
The ECDVU program was a synergy, an attachment, a link between theory and practice. You feel so energized. You've probably learned about what is expected of a leader, of managers, what goes into management. And you quickly want to put that into practice probably in your next training program or in your next activity.
As a result of her virtual university training, Ruth has become more influential than ever in Ghana's educational system. In fact, Ghana was one of the first African nations to develop a national ECD policy. And Ruth has come here, to the National Nursery Teacher Training Center in Accra, to explain that policy to future early childhood teachers.
So it's to pretty much ring a bell to them that you are going to be working with children, and you cannot work with children without realizing that they have rights and what their rights are and what responsibilities also go with that.
The trainees, in turn, can practice their new skills literally steps away from where they learned. And it also gives Ruth a chance to see how her national policy develops in the classroom. The knowledge from the ECDVU can have impact inside early childhood centers that quickly.
We had to do actually a case study where we had to go into deprived communities. Deprived as they were still aware of the need to invest in their children.
The ECDVU has put Ruth at the center of Ghana's national ECD policy. She theorizes, coordinates, tests, implements, and when necessary, goes back to the drawing board. To her colleagues, she seems to be everywhere. She has a name for this. She calls it all hands on deck.
For us in Ghana, what we are trying to say for early childhood care and development is that it is everybody's business. We want them to be happy in school so we can retain them and ensure that they can at least have a good education that will send them somewhere. All hands must be on deck.
In Nigeria, the ECDVU is just beginning to show results. In Ghana, the ECDVU cohorts have created a model that interests others across Africa. And it is a model that has been noticed in a nation on the other side of the continent.